Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you to all the devotees. Thank you to all the well wishes. It brings so much to my heart to see that everybody has tried to help us so much. Actually, I was not so much bewildered of everything that was happening. I know this is all Krishna's arrangement. When a devotee is put in difficulty, it is not made by his karma. It is the Lord's arrangement. The Maya has been described as the backside of the Lord. So a devotee, when he's put into difficulty, he knows that now Krishna has appeared to me as distress. That's all. But it is the same. There's no material thing. Everything is Krishna, especially for a devotee. The karmis, they forget. Therefore, for them, it's only suffering. There's no good in anything that is happening. As you can see, we're back home after 4 days of struggle. We left the house, the farm in Malaysia, the 22nd in the afternoon. So now it is the 26th afternoon, and we managed. So I will explain a bit what happened to us. So on the 8th of March, we went to Malaysia to associate with Vrindavan Prabhu there. We wanted to get some devotees association. We wanted to get out a bit from the coronavirus here. At that time, there was not much other countries infected. Malaysia had only about 30 people. Now it has almost 2,000. So we went there and we spent a nice two weeks. It was a bit hard to take care of our son there, mosquitoes and the heat and everything. But despite all of this, we could get nice association with Vrindavan Prabhu and the cows that are there and the nice air and everything. So when we saw that the rules in China were changing for people coming back from abroad, we decided to come back earlier. Our original return flight was the 28th. So we changed it to the 23rd actually. So it was very hard already to change and expensive, and they changed our flight. So we took 22nd Johor Bahru to Kuala Lumpur. We spent the night there in a hotel, then Kuala Lumpur to Guangzhou. When we entered Guangzhou, we had to go through so much checking, and checkup, taking the temperature, making the tests, filling forms, and we skipped two huge files lines, that we skipped at least 2 hours of waiting because we had Krishna Sudam, who is here with us, and still it took about 3 hours to get to the end. And then when we were about to get in the bus, our son got the fever, and this is when our heart started to pump. As soon as this happened, when they scanned and I saw the fever on my son, I knew that Krishna is making an arrangement. It's not possible that he's not there for us. He is always there for us. It's just that when we forget about it, this is when suffering is real. It really affects us. But when we realize that no, Krishna must be there for us because we are surrendered. I was thinking, how can the Lord take care of someone like me? But there's a letter where Prabhupada says, he wrote to one of the devotees who seemed to have a similar doubt, and he said, I am Krishna's and you are mine, therefore you are dear to Krishna. And also there is another verse like that, I think it's the Bhagavatam or CC, where Krishna says, his pure devotee are very dear to him. What to speak of his pure devotee? Even the devotee of his devotee are very dear to him. So although I do not consider myself a devotee, I do not know why the Lord would take interest in me, but because I'm following the four regulative principle and chanting 16 rounds, I'm trying to please Prabhupada, I know that Krishna must be taking care of me. So on that ground, on that mental train of thought, I knew that okay, Krishna is making an arrangement for us. So we scanned the temperature, they brought us to the hospital. It took 2 hours to wait for the ambulance. Our son was feeling very bad, and the airport was having high fever. So we were at the hospital, and then we arrived, and our son went through a lot actually. They had to put things in his nose and his mouth to make the test. He was crying a lot. He had to do a CT scan where we were holding him like this. He was screaming, Mama. My wife had to go through a lot. My wife was we can say a bit more shaken than me. Women are they are very much attached, to the children. This is normal, the bodily concept of liking the little boy is there very strongly, so it's hard for them to come out above, the bodily concept. So my duty was to try to recomfort her and to try to, have my son feel as less suffering as possible. So after all those tests and everything, we had to wait 24 hours to know if we had the virus, and this is when I contacted Sundagopal Prabhu and the devotees. This is when I sent my first message in the Krishna Inspiration group, for those of you who see this video who are in that group, and ask for the blessings. So we had to wait 24 hours, and then there was so many, it was hard to take care of him. We had to order outside food. Of course, the devotees, you know, we shouldn't eat outside food. For those of you who are not so accustomed, a Krishna conscious devotee has to eat only prasadam offered to Krishna. The main reason for this is because we are trying to purify our consciousness so that we can always be absorbed in thought of Lord Krishna, and eating outside food blocks this actually natural tendency of the soul to always be attracted by the pastimes of the Lord, by his qualities, by his features, by his names and pastimes, etc. So eating outside food will cut that, you know. So that's why we cannot eat outside food, and we were forced to do so. We had to order, and when we order, that means what they cook, even though it's vegetarian, it's cooked in their pot that they're cooking meat. So we had to eat this, you know. Actually, I didn't eat it much. I was just eating a little bit of bread here, you know, a little bit of joe. This is a white porridge, you know, rice porridge, and a little bit of noodles here and there. Anyway, so so after 24 hours of anxiety, then finally we learned that okay, we were fine. So the first big, you know, thing was removed. Then it was how to get home. So we spent 2 nights in the hospital, and then they sent us, after when we left, they sent us to a hotel, which is quite funny because it's this hotel, and our room was like here, our window, so we could see our house here, our balcony, and we were just hoping, when are we going to be able to come, you see. So close, such a close place, but still we could not come. This is another thing that shows that we're not a controller. Even though we're so near to a place where we want to be, still it's not up to us, you know. There are so many factors that will affect what will happen, and this is all in Krishna's hands. There's 5 factors, right, and Krishna will decide. So that's it. And we spent 1 night there, and we had to call the police station, we had to call the hospital, we had to call the management there, we had to call the management of our building, and try to you know, push, because nobody will do it like out of kindness, just like that, because we have to impress upon them that our situation is not convenient. Especially I didn't want to eat 2 weeks of karmic food, you know, no way. So that's why we pushed a lot, and to take care of our son to the little hotel room was very hard. Plus he was starting to have fever again, which we did not tell them, because actually his fever is because of a small infection, you know, in the stomach. But if they managed to scan him again, who knows, they might have sent us back to the hospital and everything. So we were cooling him down with a towel, trying to get his temperature down before coming out, you know. So after 1 day of calling and everything, finally they got us out, and we just arrived just like 30 minutes ago in our apartment. So thank you very much. Thank you to all the devotees who've donated and all the well wishes. I will be showing here a few names. I am sorry, there's so many names that I do not know by name, but I'm sure I've seen most of you, so I will be showing. So thank you very much. Rajendra Sharma, Vivek K, Rachel Kwano, who is Rajikishor's wife, Radhika Kishori Devidasi, Sunan Shri Ramachandran, Balaji Jayararam, Vrindavan Das, Gaurav Miglani, Karunayar, so Vimal Krishna Das, Vikenta Shatar. I know a lot of those names are maybe your uninitiated names, so thank you very, very much. We've reached our goal. I saw Tadvavid Prabhu, he said actually that I needed more. It's a fact, if we want to cover everything, we needed more, but hopefully as of now we're not gonna stay in the hotel, so the cost has reduced quite a lot. The hotel for 2 weeks would have been 60 Singapore dollars or 3,000 Indian rupees. 3,000 Indian rupees a day. So since we don't have to do this, the cost has reduced quite a lot. So 2,000. So I would say maybe 2,008, 3,000 is what we require now, and we already reached that. Jagannath Krishna Das, Radhika Sakhi, Anand Mishra, Rajendra Pillai, Prem Chaitanya Das, Madhava Das, Krishna Prema Das, Sweta Shah, Vishnu Kacham Kotu, Malti Sundari Devidasi, who've all donated. I cannot believe how many people helped us. Ujval Das Adhikari, Shashishal Gupta, Aprakita Das, Ajay Algol, Anna Boris Timkar, Vishwambar Das, Sergey Bazenov, Venkatesh Satal, Livesh Kumar, Shrikant Chanmuli. So thank you very, very much to everyone. I mean, I just couldn't did that. Okay, so I think this is all, and also some people have donated to my PayPal directly. I'm speaking fast. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, and so I was not expecting to get so much help. It's just Mark Zumbor also has helped. He sent to our PayPal directly. I mean, I'm just blown away at how much you've helped, you know. So how can I pay you back? All I can do is try to speak the philosophy, to try to share those realizations that I got from the experience that we went through. So I would like to read, okay, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam 8 Canto, chapter 4, text 11 and 12 in the purport. Prabhupada says, so this is the unique position of a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although the king was cursed, he welcomed the curse, because a devotee is always aware that nothing can happen without the desire of the Supreme Lord. That's an important fact. There's nothing left uncontrolled. Everything is within the control of the Lord. So if someone is a devotee is put into misery, what is the reason? We can continue reading. So instead of being agitated by such reverses, he continues his activities of devotional service, and Krishna takes care of him and enables him to be promoted to the spiritual world, back to Godhead. So when those reverses come, we must continue, we want to push on, you know, because these are the tests, and the test will increase. It's just like high school test is not the same thing as university test. It is harder, but a university student can easily pass smaller tests, but his test for him might be a bit of challenge, but it's good for him because he will advance further. And then again, if a devotee has to suffer the reactions of his past misdeeds, the Supreme Lord arranges for him to be given only a token of these reactions, and very soon he's freed from all the reactions of material contamination. So the Lord still keeps a bit in reserve of our karma, but it's not done through material nature. The Lord directly makes this happen to a devotee to help him. But those who are without knowledge, those who are not surrendered, this suffering is just suffering. If they don't want to wake up, it will just be suffering and nothing else. But for a devotee who has realization, who has surrendered to the Lord, these sufferings will help him. He will become more and more detached from the bodily concept. He will become more and more detached from, you know, material comfort. And in this way, he will be able to advance and realize that his spirit soul, that he's an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, and that his business is to go back to him. This world, after all, is temporary. This is what we have to realize. And then a devotee should not be disturbed by unfortunate circumstances, but must continue his regular program. So that, another verse, Bhagavatam 10:14-8, my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So to tolerate and still keep to devotional service while being in stressful situation, hard situation, that is, the Lord sees that. He knows that this devotee is sincere. So when we are put into suffering, we should be happy that, yes, this is a test. You know, I can prove to the Lord that I love him. You see. So then, teaching of Queen Kunti, chapter 8. This is the book. Okay. When a devotee is in danger, he thinks, now Krishna has appeared before me as danger. You see, this is a very good. Krishna has appeared before me as danger. There's another place in Prabhupada's letters he spoke. There was some bombing, I think, in Calcutta when Prabhupada was still a Grihastha, and he was writing, oh my Lord, I know that this is just another feature of your universal form, but I do not very much like that feature. But still, he was Krishna conscious. He knew that those bombs is Krishna also. Nothing can be outside the universal form of the Lord. So a devotee, however, is never disturbed by dangers, reverses, or calamities. Rather, he welcomes them, because he is a surrendered soul. He knows that both dangers and festivals are but different demonstrations of Krishna, who is absolute. In the Shastra, the Vedic literature, it is said that religion and irreligion, which are complete opposites, are merely the front portion and the back portion of God. So you see, but is there any difference between God's front and God's back? God is absolute, and therefore a devotee, either in opulence or in danger, is undisturbed, knowing that both of these are Krishna. In another purport in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Prabhupada says that the highest realization of Krishna consciousness is the giving up of the material concept of life. Because at the moment we distinguish, this is material, this is spiritual, this is suffering, this is good. But if one realizes that everything is Krishna, everything is arranged by Krishna, Krishna is always there, we're always with him, he's always taking care of us, then we can get freed from all this so-called suffering. That's the way. Again, another very important place is in the Krishna book, 233. So here, we should note, however, that when a devotee falls into a miserable condition in this way, it is not due to past impious activities known as karma pala. The poverty-stricken position of the devotee is a creation of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, when a devotee becomes material opulent, that is also not due to his pious activities. So if a devotee gets money, or if he loses money, or if he's put into happiness or distress, it's all arranged by Krishna. This arrangement is especially made by Krishna for his devotee just to make him completely dependent upon him and to free him from all material obligations. So Krishna is removing our material burden by giving us these little sufferings, so that we can further our advancement. Then a bit further, when by the grace of the Lord a devotee becomes free from all designation, his devotional service is actually Naishkarma. Okay. When the devotee's actions are freed from effects, they are no longer in a category of karma palam or fruitive activities, as explained before by the personified Vedas. The happiness and distress of a devotee are produced by the personality of Godhead for the devotee, and the devotee therefore does not care whether he's in happiness or distress. So you see how Prabhupada gives us a glimpse on how the devotee thinks. a bit on later. Because the devotee is a surrendered soul and is taken charge by the Supreme Lord, whenever the Lord puts him into any condition of life, either in distress or happiness, it is to be understood that behind this arrangement there's a large plan designed by the personality of Godhead. So the Lord is always making arrangements. So there's a plan behind this. When we're put into suffering, we should keep strong, and know that Krishna is arranging something. Just like His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu, he's always saying this. When we're put into reverses, he said, no, just keep it cool. Be patient, endure. The Lord will make arrangement. The Lord will make arrangement. The Lord will open a door. He's always speaking like that. That is the proper way of seeing this. Then a very good thing here. Another question may be raised. Since a devotee is put into different kinds of happy and distressful conditions by the arrangements of the personality of Godhead, and a common man is put into such conditions as a result of his past deeds, then what's the difference, right? A devotee is suffering, karmi is suffering. So what is the point of becoming a devotee? No. The answer is that the karmi and the devotees are not on the same level. In whatever condition of life the karmi may be, he continues the cycle of birth and death because the seed of karma, fruitive activity, is there. That's it. So the karmi, it's not ending here. Birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. Billions of lifetimes again are ahead of him. He's nitya baddha, eternally conditioned. He has done so many material activities that he has created an unlimited chain of bodies that is awaiting him. Okay, but whereas a devotee's distress and happiness, not being under the laws of karma, are part of a temporary arrangement by the Supreme Lord, which does not entangle the devotee. Such an arrangement is made by the Lord only to serve a temporary purpose. Then another doubt can come. Here another question may be raised. If God is all-powerful, why should he try to reform his devotee by putting him in distress? Right? He's all powerful. Why does he have to reform the devotee in this specific manner that the devotee has to suffer? Why not another way? Is the Lord dependent on pain to bring about his arrangement? Pain is higher than Krishna? No. The answer is that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead puts his devotee into a condition of distress, it is not without a purpose. So the distress itself has a purpose. Sometimes the purpose is that in distress, a devotee's feelings of attachment to Krishna are magnified. So Prabhupada said that sometimes this is the reason. So when one is put into severe distress, after all, he realized, my wife cannot help me, my husband cannot help me, my son cannot help me, my president, my boss, whatever. The only person is Krishna. So that increases the attachment of the devotee for Krishna. When a devotee is put into a situation of distress, his devotional activities are accelerated. That's a fact, because we don't have much time. We don't know when death will strike. Now this coronavirus has already taken the life of a few devotees. That's a fact. So we don't know when is our turn. If our devotional activities is accelerated, that is good, because we're going to be finishing the business as fast as possible before the next death takes place. So we don't have to come back here again, and we can finally go back and, enter the pastimes of the Lord. Go where the Lord now is in one of the universe. Sanatan Goswami has said like that. When we leave this body and we're perfect, we go reach Krishna in one of the material universe where he's performing his Nitya Lila like that. And then we'll be with him. We'll see Krishna dance. We'll see Krishna eating. We'll be with him. Our life will be with God. That is the aim. That is what we need. Our life is not to hide from coronavirus. Our life is not to wear a mask outside. And what is this? What kind of world is this? Why are we trying to stay here? What is this place? It's hell, but if we go with Krishna, imagine every day you see the Lord. That's it. The Lord is your companion. You are a companion of the Lord. So that is the goal. That is why the Lord, a little, distress now to accelerate the process and go back to Krishna. That is much wanted, actually. Therefore, Queen Kunti said, I want to suffer again and again, so I'll see you, Not that, oh, I'm happy, but without you. No. Then, a very nice way here to conclude. Therefore, to show special favor to a devotee, the Lord sometimes puts him into distress. Special favor. So when we are put into distress, we should know that Krishna is taking special care of us. Special care. So it might be, then one might say that, I'm not suffering, the Lord is not taking special care. If the non-suffering situation is actually not hampering your quick advancement, then that is another form of mercy also. Just like Maharaj Yudhishthir, we can say he was very, very opulent. And in his opulence also, he was still Krishna conscious. So that did not hamper him. But of course, he went through a lot of distress also. And besides that, it is stated that the sweetness of happiness is sweeter to those who have tasted bitterness. That is a very interesting thing. It's a fact. When we taste bitterness, then the sweetness is always nicer. So when I come back here in this house with our altar and to see our son here, Krishna Sudam, playing and being happy, with his toys and not having to be with us, I feel much more happy. I feel much more peaceful here in this place, and I understand that this is a mercy of the Lord to find such a nice position for us to perform devotional service. Now we're waiting for our Gauranitai deities. We will try to make this place our temple and further our advancement in Krishna consciousness. I'm sorry if it was a long message. I'm sorry if I was talking too long. And from the bottom of my heart, from the core of my soul, I'm thanking you, all of you. We have enough donation. There's no need to give anymore. It's more than we need. So thank you so very much. I think, with this virus, I will not start to work soon, but I think I can start to work online, giving some classes. That will be enough to maintain my wife and kid. And that's it. So thank you so very much. All I could do is to share my realization with all of you, to try to repay you back. And I just pray to Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Gauranitai and Prabhupada to bestow their mercy upon all of you. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.